Okay, so part 3. All right, so this is the most complicated hand. So I already cut out the shape. You can see it's quite thick, right? It's realistic. It's like my own hand thickness. That's very important because you're going to be bending it and sculpting it, and you want to make sure that you have enough clay. Okay, so before you bend it and pose it, you're going to have to round off the fingers, especially on the inside of the hand, because once you close it, you're not going to be able to sculpt. So I'm going to start taking off these sharp corners, right? Because that's not, my hand does not have boxy shape to it. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of scrape away these corners. It's going to make it look more realistic. So that's what I want. Okay. And as it dries, you'll be able to do more refining. So I'm just taking off these corners the best I can. I can do a little smoothing before I pose the hand, right? So once you close it, it's a lot harder to access the inside of the palm. All right. And same here. Okay, so I shaved off all these edges. That's very important. The next step, I could take these little scraps and keep using them, right? Squish them back together. I need to beef up this area. This is like a drumstick, right, on a chicken. So I need to beef this up. This is too flat. So that will be the next step, is I'm gonna need a bit of clay that will fit here. Okay, so I could wet it a little bit. That way the clay kind of sticks for me, right? Okay, so we are just going to kind of plop it on there, kind of blend it a little bit crudely, right? We just want to get that joint, right? That thumb, fatty part of the thumb. Okay, it's going to start to look more realistic as you start building the dimension of the form. Okay, that's very, very important. Okay, so the other part that's a little fatty is right here, right? Fat here, fat here. It's not really fat. It's like tendons and things like that. But you know what I mean. Okay, so I'm going to add another bit of clay for this part here. And if you're not sure how much you should add, figure it out on your own hand, right? Because if it, you know, you just traced it, so you know it's going to be the same size. Wet it a little bit too. Add. And I'm just kind of, this is called modeling, right? I'm pressing and sculpting and pinching, trying to make it look more realistic. Don't want it flat, right? This is the most advanced of the 3 techniques. Okay. So I beefed up this part of the hand. Okay, another part that's a little beefed up is along below the knuckles, right, on this part here. So this time I'm going to take a skinny piece. It's going to kind of roll it, right? I'm going to want it to fit here. So just kind of do that. Okay. Just kind of attaching it. Press, 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 smooth as you go. And you'll see when you sculpt, you're using both hands, right? That's what's different about sculpting comparing to drawing. Drawing, you're using one side of your brain. Sculpting, you're using both. Okay, I can also kind of smooth out the fingers a little bit. Okay, so I have the palm basically sculpted, right? Because I'm going to be bending it, so I'm going to have this little divot here. So I kind of already have that now, so that's good. Okay, so get it as smooth as you want, because once you close it, you can't get in there too easily, right? A little smoothing. Okay. I'm going to make this a little skinnier. All right, that little baby pinky finger shouldn't be so fat. Okay, so Got to figure out how you want to pose this hand, right? So I'm going to just literally bend, pinch and bend a little bit. And think about the parts of the finger, right? I have 1, 2, 3, right? It's like a box. So I'm going to think about that when I'm bending my fingers. I got to get that 1, 2, 3, right? The 2 knuckles and all the straight lines. Same here. And if I want to bend it severely, I might get a little cracking, so I might have to patch a little bit. Do what you got to do. Might have to add a little bit of clay in there. Pinch, 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 right? Okay, maybe a nice severe bend here. Okay, so figure out what pose you want. Okay, it's a nice thumb design here. Okay, and then of course you could do more refining, more sponging, more scraping, and add the lines on the palm, right? My lines kind of do something different. Everybody's lines on their palms are different. So you have to figure out what pattern do you have, right, on your hand. Okay, so that would be a very quick demo of how you could get to that point. And the more you refine it, the better. Hope that helps.